Today, I am going to be looking at two different yet similar types of power banks. One of them is by Blavor, and the other one is by Good Day. So you might be able to find these from a few different other sellers, but the two I'm looking at are from these two specific brands, and that's what they are listed as on Amazon. So what both of these chargers have in common, there's quite a bit that they have in common. First, they are both solar chargers. This orange unit by Blavor is a 10,000 milliamp hour USB backup battery power pack. It has a USB Type-C input that you can use to charge it. It also comes with a Type-C cable that you can use to charge it, a USB out to charge, and it also has a micro USB in. So I have tested, and both of these do work to charge the device, to plug them in. But also with this unit, that's not the only output you have. You also have this output, which is the wireless charging output. Now, one of the things that you'll note about this unit is, in order to use the wireless charging station here, you can't really be charging this in the sun, because if you cover this up, you're no longer getting the sun. You have your phone sitting on that, and it's kind of hard to charge something wirelessly standing up like this unless you were to bungee it together. Now, that said, probably not that big of a deal, because if you've ever used wireless charging, your phone tends to get pretty hot. At least mine does when I have it on a wireless charging thing. So if you have this sitting out in the sun and you're trying to wirelessly charge your device, that's probably not a great combination, because you're generating a lot of heat on either side. And at least my phone gives me that little heat warning, says, hey, your phone's getting a little too hot, we're going to shut down wireless charging until you cool down. So it's probably okay that you can't wirelessly charge and charge this unit at once. Some of the similarities between these units, obviously they both are solar powered. They both come with this little compass carabiner keyring thing. I don't really know why it's included with either unit, but it's there, so I want to note. They also both come with a USB Type A to Type C charging cable. I find that a little bit ironic because, again, same types of cable, two different units, two different companies, but as I've said, they're fairly generic, so you might find them from different companies selling them and branding them. This unit, the Blavor unit, the 10,000 milliamp hour unit, does charge by USB-C. It also charges by micro USB. However, this, the Good Day unit, doesn't have a USB-C input. It has two USB outputs and only a single input for charging, and that's a micro USB. However, the cord that came with it is a USB-C cable. I'm not complaining. I have plenty of USB-C devices that I can charge using this cable, but this unit did not come with a way to charge it outside of the solar panels, which I think is a little odd. Probably just an oversight at the packaging department. I'm not going to hold that against the unit, because if you're anything like me, you have more micro USB cables lying around that you know what to do with. I'm not hurting for micro USB cables. I don't need any more micro USB cables, but I could use a few more USB-C cables. Both of them are super short. These are the exact same cable. Actually, one's a tiny bit shorter than the other, but they're a foot or less. This Good Day unit I like the look of it because it has this nice little folio look. It has this little clasp on it, and I like that you can fold it out and you get all these solar panels. I don't know if having 4 solar panels is any better than having 1. I don't know if that means this charges any faster. One reason I really like this is you can kind of tent this, and so you can set this here. You can have a device plugged in and charging if you wanted to, sitting there, and this is still gathering sunlight. And you can even flip that over. Now maybe your unit's not getting sun directly on it, but these are still collecting sunlight, so you still have multiple directions you can collect sunlight. It would be nice if it was kind of like a magnet or something that you could prop it up, but pretty much it stays for the most part, and I have put it in the sun, and I covered up the various panels. As long as one panel is showing, it is getting sunlight. This Good Day unit is quite a beast. It packs a lot of power into it. It's a 25,000 milliamp hour, so it's a high capacity USB external battery pack. You're going to get a few charges to your phone out of this device, which is really nice. Another one of the similarities is the charging icons are actually very similar. Both of these have a light that shows you when they're detecting sun. So that little green light, and this one, it's right here, this little green light here shows that it's detecting sun. Right now I'm sitting in my office, my window is up there, but I have my shades closed, they're fairly sheer. According to the manuals, as long as the sunlight intensity is above 25,000 lux and the solar panel is fully exposed, the charger can charge itself. And they say they charge at about 180 milliamp charging currency. I'm not very in tune with all the milliamp terminology, the electrical terminology, how fast that means or slow that means, or what the comparison is in real world terms, but I do know that this is not going to charge, neither one of these are going to charge nearly as fast as if you were to plug it in directly. Now if you were to say, maybe you were to take these and leave them on the dashboard of your car or something like that and use this to charge your phone on the way home, leave it on the dashboard of your car, or maybe you're leaving it outside and you're only charging your phone every once in a while, you get a full charge out of it and then you let this thing sit, it might charge up slowly but surely. So you're still gonna get some solar energy out of it. That's what's great about the solar panels, but I wouldn't expect the solar panels to keep up necessarily with what you're doing if you have something plugged in that's doing a constant drain. As a test, one of the things I wanted to see if I could get with this super high capacity unit, this good day unit, is I wanted to see if this could essentially be a clean power source for me for an always-on device. What I did is I plugged in an Amazon Echo Dot, so one of the smaller Amazon Echoes, into it, and I left this propped in a window. I made sure that the light was on so it was getting sunlight, and these bars were full so they weren't charging, so it was full power. I put it in the window with the sunlight and I plugged in the Echo Dot. Now the Echo Dot I don't think draws a ton of power from it, but after a full day the Echo Dot was doing just fine. Overnight I came down the next day and I tried to use the Dot, and it was not getting power, and this was completely drained. So just with having that Echo Dot plugged in all night and having no sun in this unit, it did slowly drain the power out of the unit. Now obviously the Echo Dot is an always connected device, so it's going to be drawing power, but it did completely drain this unit, and even with this sitting in the sun for the next full day, or next even 2 full days, it could not generate enough electricity. It couldn't get enough power to start the Dot up again because the Dot was taking the energy from it as it came. So this isn't going to be a constant power source. This isn't suddenly going to be the solar panel for all of your charging needs. So I would recommend, before you take this out anywhere, either one, charge them fully in a wall plug like you would any other power bank. Make sure it's fully charged before you take it out. The solar panel is going to be nice to keep you topped off, but it's not going to be able to give you enough power to continuously power devices. Now I'm going to take a little more in-depth look at the Blavor unit here. So this does have a wireless charging pad on the rear of the unit. It also has a dual flashlight. There's no buttons on the unit save for one little power button on the side. So in order to get those flashlights to turn on, you push in the power button, you hold it in for about 5 seconds and they'll turn on. And it is pretty bright, you'll see, so it is a good functioning flashlight. And because of the size of this and the nice grippy rubber there, it's pretty easy to hold and to use as a flashlight. I've seen some other units with a flashlight that maybe aren't as easy to hold. In fact, we're about to look at one that's this one over here, the Good Day unit. I don't think is as easy to hold with the flashlight. And then to turn off the flashlight, again, you find that power button, hold it in for 5 seconds, and it turns off. On the front here you have the solar panel. When it detects power, you get the little green light, and it will charge up, and it will show you as it's charging. When it's plugged in, these little blue lights will show up. If you want to see how much power is left, you just tap the power button there and it'll show, like right now I have all 4 blue lights are lit, which means we're fully charged. Now to use the wireless charging pad on the back, there's a little LED here that shows that it is active, and it's a tiny little dot, and it's a green LED. Now the reason that's there is to show you that this panel is active before you set a device on it. If that light is off and you set a device on here, you're not going to get any charge out of it from the wireless charging capacity. So what you need to do in order to get that to work is you have to tap the power button, then that light comes on, and you have about 20 seconds to put something on there. The same thing with when you plug something in. So if you just plug something in, the device isn't just going to automatically start drawing power out of it. You need to tap the power button to let it know that, hey, now it's time to start charging. So you'll notice right now the light is off. If I were to set my phone on here, it's not going to charge. I tap the power button and you see the light come on. Now if I set my phone on this, it will start charging wirelessly, and after 20 seconds, if it doesn't detect anything, that light will go off and it's not going to try to charge anything anymore. The Good Day unit is very similar to the Blavor unit. It is stamped with Good Day on the back. It says it's model D4004, and the Good Day unit also has a flashlight. The Good Day unit also has the exact same LED structure. Right now, it's not detecting anything. I haven't tapped the power button, so all the lights are off, but if I were to open this and show it some sunlight, this little sunshine indicator button is going to come on, and it shows that it's charging. Now if I close this, and then we tap the power button, it shows me the current power level of the battery. If I hold in the power button, then I get my flashlight on the back. Not as bright as the Blavor unit, but it's still kind of in a nice placement. It's a little difficult to hold just with the thickness of the unit. It's kind of difficult to hold and use as a flashlight, but I'm not necessarily going to complain because the flashlight to me is just an extra. It's not necessarily something that you need on a unit like this. The flashlight on this Good Day unit does have a few options beyond just on or off. Hold in the power button for 3 seconds, your light comes on, tap it once, and you're going to go into SOS mode. Tap it once more, and you get strobe mode. Tap once more, you're back to solid. Hold in for 3 seconds, and the light turns off. Currently, I would say that the Good Day unit is probably my preference. Even though it doesn't have the wireless charging, it's just because I've had a lot of experiences with wireless charging overheating my phone, or my phone not charging very quickly through wireless charging. So even though wireless charging is great to have, I really like the looks and feel of this unit. That said, I like that I don't have to carry around a power cable with this one. If I want to charge the device, I can turn it over and I can drop my phone on there. Both of these units have a flashlight, so that's a nice touch. Not necessary, but a nice touch. The 10,000 milliamp unit just has the dual flashlights. It's just an on or off flashlight, but it's a lot brighter than the Good Day unit, the 25,000 milliamp unit. However, in this unit, not only do you get just a solid flashlight, you also get the SOS flashlight and the strobe flashlight. So if that's something that you think you'll need, then this is kind of nice to have. Both of these units have similar available outputs. This one has a dual USB output, but if you plug in 2 units, obviously they're not going to charge as fast as if you just have one unit plugged in. And this one has a single output. I guess you could say it has a dual output if you count the wireless charging, but it has a single output as well as dual inputs for charging. So this one seems to be a lot more versatile in most areas than this one. However, this one has a lot more capacity. And this only has a single way of being charged through the micro USB. This unit is a lot easier to grab with your hand and carry around due to the grippiness of it. It's really easy to hold onto. The grips on the sides are nice, and it has a little loop for connecting to your included compass / carabiner / keyring thing if you so choose to do that. It's also really easy to stand that up on its side. The Good Day unit also comes with the compass keychain, but there's no real place to connect it. I guess you could put it on this little loop that you use here to close up the folio with the snap. This unit is a little harder to hold just one hand just by the nature of how big it is, and you can't really stand it up like this unit. However, what I do really like about the solar panels and having the multiple solar panels is you can put this out like a tent, so even if this is flipped upside down, you're still solar charging. You can have a few different configurations, and if you need to use the flashlight for something, if you just kind of finagle the way that these panels sit, you can kind of prop this up and have a flashlight stand. There's not a whole lot of negative about these. Really the only thing I can point to as being a negative about either one is just that I wish it charged faster with the solar panels. That's not really a fault on the unit. I think that's just the solar charging technology, as it were. It is a little slower to charge. Just like we have wireless charging capability now for our phones and some other devices, it just doesn't charge as fast as with the cable. So you can't depend on these units to really fully recharge themselves with sunlight quickly. It's going to take some while to recharge. This one I've had sitting in the sun for a while, and it has got to a single dot of battery power finally, but even that took a few hours to get to that point with having nothing else plugged into it. So it's going to be really a full day before they get up to full charge. So maybe if you were charging this during the day and using it to charge your phone at night, you might have the ability to use either one of these power banks as a source of clean energy for your phone. So again, this is the Blavor. This is a portable wireless power bank, so it has wireless charging capability, and it's 10,000 milliamp. It has a single 2.1A USB output. It has a Type-C input as well as a micro USB input to charge. And this unit here is the Good A. It is a 25,000 milliamp high capacity USB battery pack backup. It has a single micro USB input for charging as well as the solar panels, and dual USB 2.1A outputs for charging your devices. Currently, at the time of this video, this unit is running about $30 and this unit is about $44. Both of these units are selling on Amazon from various different sellers under various names with different stamps on them, so you're probably going to be able to find them. Even if they're not these particular brand names, you're going to be able to find these units on Amazon.